What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dabrunski here, and today I'm going to be breaking down what I think is the ultimate survivability leveling sorceress spec. I'm going to be playing with this character live on stream, pushing from 98 to 99, doing some chaos seal popping and killing Diablo on player 7. So for those that don't know, I stream on Twitch, link for my Twitch channel. It is of course in the description below, twitch/Dabrunski125. I stream there twice a week. If you guys could give me a follow there, I'd really appreciate it. But this character spec, honestly, I think she has everything. She hits 117 FCR breakpoint, 50% damage reduction, max block with 2k health, so really everything is covered for survivability. And I'm going to be breaking down this build starting with the character attributes, then the skill tree, gear, and then finally gameplay. And of course, links for the timestamps will be in the description below, so if you guys want to bounce back and forth between attributes, gameplay, or gear, whatever, they're there for you guys to use, so please take advantage of them. Other than that, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Let's jump in.
You're too late.
So the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to this sorceress build before I jump into the attributes in the skill tree is what is the point of this sorceress if you only play softcore? Well, I am on my way to 99. I am basically about 80% of the way there, and I just do not want to die. So I wanted to make a character that was entirely focused on survivability and then do rotating Chaos Sanctuary and bail runs depending on if I want to mix it up to just try and get 99. So really I'm just covering my bases. I don't want to die because I have unfortunately died on one occasion on the road to level 99, and it is a huge setback. I know it's not quite to the extent of dying in hardcore, but again, I mostly play softcore, and this build is really just to ensure that I can get to 99 without dying. So as far as the attribute distribution goes, it's a little bit different than the typical builds that you see on my channel, and that is because those are softcore builds, and I have never really made a sort of max block setup on this channel before. But as far as your strength investment goes, it's the same as even a max fight sorcerer setup. I just have enough strength to equip my gear, which is 156 to equip Storm Shield on the main hand, and then Spirit on the offhand and a Monarch Shield. Now you're looking at the stat distribution and you're going to say you have a lot more than 156 strength. That is because I need to get that much strength to equip Storm Shield, and then once I can actually wear it, the shield itself gives me additional plus strength, and I did not strength bug this character, so that's why you're going to see more than 156 strength. And then for dexterity, I have just enough to equip max block, which is 75%, and then I have nothing into mana, and then all of my remaining points are put into vitality, so I have 1,265 health and 359 mana prior to battle orders and battle command buff on this character. The skill investment for this sorceress is very similar to a standard lightning sorceress, nothing special here. So I have 1 hard point into warmth, 1 hard point into frozen armor, and then I have 1 into static field, 1 into teleport and telekinesis, and then I have all of the remaining lightning synergies maxed. So Nova, Charge Bolt, Lightning, Chain Lightning, and Lightning Mastery, they're all completely maxed. You will have a couple of extra points once you reach, I think it's 96 or 97, which you can invest into Frozen Armor for more defense or Warmth for more mana recovery. It's really up to you, but the standard skill distribution is basically what you'd see on any Lightning Sorcerer spec in the game. But that wraps up all of the basic introductory points that I wanted to cover about this Sorceress build. And before we jump into the gear, I just wanted to reiterate that she hits 117 FCR, has 60 FHR breakpoint, 50 damage reduction, max block with capped resistances across the board. So 75 cold, 75 lightning, 75 fire, and 75 poison. So again, I really think she has almost everything that you need to max survivability for running chaos. Now that you kind of have a brief overview of the character, let's jump into the gear that I chose for this spec. So as far as the gear goes for this sorceress, there's a lot of different options that you can choose from, but I kind of tried to always make sure I had good res, a lot of strength to get to that 156 point to equip Storm Shield, so I would have extra points to put into dexterity for max block, and then trying to stack a lot of plus life with the gear and the charms to try and have a high health pool, because when you invest like 250 points into dexterity, really takes away from your overall health pool. And in order to get 2000k health with Battle Orders buff, I really had to kind of make my gear selection, like be very picky with the gear that I chose. So starting off with the weapon, I went with Hodo, the 3 tall skills and 40 FCR and 38 res. That's just the reason why I went with it. Good overall all-around weapon. It's not the best for pure damage, but helps me reach that 117 and cap my resistances. Now for the body armor, I went with a faceted Viper Magi, so 1 doll skills, 30 FCR, and then a big boost to damage with 35 all resistances. This one is actually upped to a Wormhide from a Serpent Skin armor, so get a little bit more defense, although it's not kind of huge. And then I have a faceted Griffins for, again, FCR and damage, And then I paired that with Storm Shield. Everybody uses Storm Shield in hardcore characters. The 35 DR and big increased chance of blocking. It's just the meta shield for any max block sorcerer setup. And I paired that with a 220, 23 to strength caster amulet. So that 20 FCR helps me run some very different gloves and belt, but still getting that 117 FCR breakpoint. And then that 23 strength goes towards that 156 requirement to equip Storm Shield. Now the rings, boots, and gloves is kind of interesting. For the boots, I'm using Sandstorm Trex for the 20 FHR, strength and vitality, and the poison res is nice. It does help me cap out to get 75 poison. That's not a huge deal. It's not as important as lightning and fire, but that's the reason why I chose Sandstorm Trex. Then I paired that with a Dwarf Star. This is just for fire absorb and plus life. There's a lot of fire damage in the Chaos Sanctuary, and then the plus life is nice. It's buffed by battle orders. Then I paired that with Dungos. Now the reason why I went with Dungos is the 15 DR paired with the 35 from Storm Shield. That helps me get 50 DR total, and then I have plus vitality and FHR. So I have 30 FHR total between Sandstorm Trex and then for Dungos. And then I paired that with Blood Fist. Now these are not double upped. I could for a little bit more defense, but the reason why I'm using these gloves is the plus 40 to life and then 30 FHR, so that's how I get 60. Now FHR isn't huge with max block, but still I was able to get 60 FHR with this setup. And the final piece is this ring. It's a 10 FCR, 9 to Dext, quad res ring with 9% MF. The MF doesn't matter. I don't care about MF with this spec, but the 10 FCR with the 40, 30, and the 25 and the 20, that's how I get 117. And then I have resistances to make sure my res is capped, and then extra dexterity, which goes towards max block. So I really think it's kind of like the perfect ring to complement this gear setup. And then on the offhand, I just have CTA and Spirit for the +2 skills to boost battle orders. And this is a 5/6/4 CTA. The inventory is focused around maximizing my damage and my life. So I went with Torch and Annie, which is on all of my Sorceress builds anyways, but it's an 1820 Source Torch with an 1820 Annie. And then I have a full inventory of lightning skillers. 2 of them have plus life, so plus 15 and plus 10. So ideally, if I really wanted to min-max the character, you would have like plus 25, 30 to life, lightning skillers all the way across the board. But I do not have a Geed's Grand Charm because I don't care about stacking MF. And I am carrying a cube. You might be wondering, like, if you're not really magic finding, you're just focusing on leveling, why do you have a cube? Well, I can basically pick up anything that I think might be a nice drop from any of the seal bosses or Diablo, and then the next run I can just talk to Deckard Cain back in the Chaos Sanctuary, just identify the items. I don't have to bother carrying a Tomb of Identify. And then every single one of these small charms is some assorted 20 to life, and this one is a 20 to life, 5 to mana. So if you really wanted to get the most out of this character, you would probably have a full inventory of plus life, plus mana small charms, but I only have very few select. I do have somewhere a 2016. I couldn't find it for this video. But the whole reasoning behind this is to just really buff my total life with this setup. So I have 1265 life. And then if I just go to the River Flame Waypoint, 2009 health with 529 mana. So that's pretty huge in my opinion. Having a 75% chance to block, 30k lightning, 2000 life, capped res across the board. And then with my gear, I do have minus 30 lightning res between the Faceted Griffins and the Faceted Viper Magi. So overall, I think it's definitely a really solid setup. Now for my Mercenary, I'm just using my go-to kind of Infinity gear. I have Infinity and Ethereal Thresher paired with an Ethereal E-Bugged Belrog skin, the Rumored Fortitude in it, and then I have an F and Dariel's Visage with a 15 IS Fire Res Jewel. Just kind of your standard setup. It is very expensive, but this isn't a budget build. That's kind of my go-to Infinity Mercenary setup. But that covers all of the gear. So we've gone over the attributes, the skill tree, the gear, and the reasoning why, and covered some of the important breakpoints. So again, I think you can, in my opinion, I'm biased, it's what I kind of came up with in Theorycraft, but I do think it's a good all-around leveling Sorcerer spec. But we're going to do a handful of Chaos Sanctuary runs. We're going to do players 1 Chaos Seal Popping, and then we're going to do Diablo in player 7, just because that's where the majority of the experience comes when I'm level 98. And I'll show you guys kind of what the runs are like, and then how quickly I can do them, and the experience kind of reward that I get from doing this type of XP grinding. So I just wanted to show the experience of this character before I do my handful of runs, because I am doing players 1 seal bosses and then player 7 Diablo, because that is one of the most effective ways to grind experience from level 8 to 99. But I have 423,286,000, so we'll just remember 286 and we'll try and do a handful of runs, and then we'll quick math. I'm horrible at math, you guys that watch me on stream frequently, and we'll just try and do a rough experience per run gained. Now, one thing that's kind of important to note, it's not really super mandatory, but I always toggle run off for a character like this, just because running reduces your total percent chance of blocking. Just kind of snipe to Sace. The biggest thing that you really need to worry about, I think we got him, is Desace. If he is extra fast and then he decrepifies your mercenary and he's lightning immune, it can be very difficult to try and kill him. It almost completely kills the runtime, but get all the seals out there. Now we'll do Diablo, we'll go to player 7. Now a community member suggested doing this technique to me. I still don't have it completely figured out yet, but static and then Telly Stomp and then Charge Bolt Diablo. I still don't have it quite perfected, but pretty quick. Player 7 Bale kill, player 7 Diablo kill, excuse me. And we went from 286 to 341,000 with a pretty quick run. Not really close calls either. I mean, depending on if Desace is lightning immune or Grand Vizier is lightning immune, that can slow you down a little bit. And of course, you can save a little bit of time teleporting with the character screen open, but I just hate doing it, so don't ever bother. I mean, I feel like the little bit of time that you save with it is probably offset from a lightning immune Lister or lightning immune Grand Vizier, in my opinion. This is a pretty smooth run. Same idea. Always filling up on mana pots. Little regivs. See if we can make the bow tie proud here. Do a smoother. I still don't know if I got that charge bolt perfectly figured out. I really still don't think I do. Oh, Ethereal Mighty Scepter. That could be, that's pretty sure that's an Ethereal find for me. Let's identify that GC. And then that is, what is that? 1 to maximum damage and 1 open socket Ethereal Heaven's Might. What would you do with that? I don't know. Ignore my messy stash. So we were at 280,000, so I think if I could do, maybe we'll do 5 runs total, do 3 more really quick runs. And you can also check for the seals too, or excuse me, the shrines, if you can get a experience shrine. You can really tank that with a Dwarf Star, you don't have to worry about it too much. Players 1, 75 Fire Res and a Dwarf Star. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. A lightning immune Desace. You gotta kind of try and get your mercenary in on there if you can. We'll just kind of clear everything out. That's more of a, this is really the biggest run killer. You can try and TK him. Come on, Merc. Decrep and extra fast Desace is the #1. That and stupidity from the Merc. The #1 run killer here. Try and pin him. There. We'll leave the Julian Amulet, not a big deal. That's pretty much the only thing that really kills the runtimes for this. Because if he's lightning immune, but he's not extra fast, if you can telly stomp him right away, it's not too bad.
Impossible.
The Realm Rune. We'll leave the diamond.
Not even death can save you from me.
I still don't know if that's faster or not, the Charge Bolt. Probably not doing it the best. I'm not sure. I might have forgotten to set that. I might have done players 7 seal bosses there. that previous run. I think maybe I did. Might have accidentally left it. Didn't drop it down to P1 after I killed Diablo. I'm not sure. There's an experience shrine there, so we'll go back and get that. Yeah, judging by how quickly... See how you can really just... I mean, it is players one, but you can really just face tank this stuff. As long as you're not, like, completely AFK. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that last run I accidentally did players 7 seal bosses instead of going down to players 1. But anyways, that's why we kind of killed our runtime a little bit.
I'm overburdened.
So we're gonna go get this Speed Shrine. Player 7 for Diablo. That was okay. Tell yourself with Charge Bolt. Okay, and we'll do one more run. We'll make sure we go down to players 1 this time again. And then we'll check our total XP at the end. One thing you'll notice too, if you switch from like 2 SOJs and a Spirit setup to kind of Storm Shield and not rocking SOJs, is you will notice that you kind of have to pick up mana pots. Because the 500 mana pool is a little bit low. Get out of there, ready? Amp damage. Pick up those pots. Just snipe to Sace. And there we go. One final player 7, Diablo, and we'll check our total experience right at the end. Quick, easy player 7 deco kill, or Diablo kill, excuse me, not deco kill. So we jumped from 580,000 to, or excuse me, 280,000 to basically 600. So, I mean, you know what, just say 320,000 experience roughly for the 5 runs that we did there. So that's a pretty quick turnaround for time, even considering that I did a player 7 seal bosses right there, which definitely killed the run a little bit in terms of like this experience to speeds of the runs. But overall, very efficient and effective way of farming experience. The only thing that's faster than this is doing Neelathak, but I think Chaos Sanctuary is a little bit safer than Neelathak with those bug Tomb Vipers. That's just me personally. Well guys, there you have it. That wraps up everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. I think that this is a really good all-around setup for farming Bale. I mean, 50 DR, good damage, 117 FCR breakpoint with 60 FHR and capped resistances. The only thing that would change if you were going to farm Bale is to just do the Dwarf Star, swap that for Wisp Projector Ring just for a little bit of Lightning Absorb. You could easily carry 1 ring in your inventory and then just swap it back and forth for doing Sea Bales. But I definitely think this is an awesome all-around leveling setup. Feel free to let me know in the comment section below if you guys completely disagree or how you would tweak the character. Look forward to hearing your guys' suggestions. I don't play a lot of hardcore max block setups, but I definitely think that this is a solid all-around build. And as always guys, if you could throw a like on this video, share it, and even consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I post new weekly content and stream on Twitch, so if you guys could give me a follow on Twitch and a sub on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it. Other than that guys, hope you have a fan-frickin-tastic day, and I'll catch you on my next video or live stream. Peace out.